When I first entered the world of card magic, I just thought knowing a trick or two would cut it. Everyone would see me as the magic guy with all the talent. Keep in mind, I was 12 at the time, so... Little did I know, people didn't only want to be entertained by magic, but they also wanted to see a display of skills. Hey, can you do that thing? What are you talking about? You know, the thing that people do with cards on TV all the time, like whoosh. Oh, you mean the card spring? No, the thing with the flying cards. So this, right? That's the thing. That's what I wanted to see. That's about how it went down. But anyway, the reason I wanted to learn one-handed cuts was because I just wanted to display a little higher level of expertise with handling cards. It's just like having a little bit of garnish on top of your meal. It doesn't really change the flavor too much, but it's very visually appealing. That being said, today I'll be sharing with you my top 3 simple one-handed cuts ranging from easy to almost intermediate. Let's do it. So if you've been doing card magic for a while, you probably know everything regarding the one-handed cut that I'm about to share. It's the first one-handed cut I was successfully able to learn after many attempts of creating my own one-handed cuts. It is the Charlier cut, what I believe to be the basic foundation for any one-handed cut. That being said, let me give you a quick tutorial on the Charlier cut, and from there I can provide you with some of my insights to really help you learn this move a lot quicker. Let's go. So the Charlier cut is definitely one of the easier one-handed cuts. It looks something like that, nothing too wild, but it's a great place to start learning any type of one-handed cuts or one-handed cardistry moves. Starting off this one-handed cut, you'll be holding the deck in your non-dominant hand like so, in an elevated straddle grip. So an elevated straddle grip looks like this. You're holding the deck close to the tips of your fingers, your index finger on top, pinky on bottom, thumb on one side, and your middle and ring finger on the other side. Once you're in this position, you will notice you have plenty of room between the deck and the palm of your hand, and that's again because we are in an elevated straddle grip. This will allow for the bottom half of the deck to drop when you'll be doing the cut. So using your thumb now, you can actually release it, and it should be held pretty firmly with your pinky finger, index finger, and middle and ring finger here. So if you did move your thumb, nothing bad should happen. The card should not fall. You're going to use your thumb to grab approximately half the deck, and as you grab half the deck, you're going to loosen your grip with your pinky and your index finger. And as soon as you loosen your grip, you'll see only the top half remains and the bottom half is going to fall. And one thing to note is when this bottom half falls, it's going to still be between your pinky finger and your index finger, looking something like this on the bottom, while the pile on top will look something like this. One more time, we get into an elevated straddle grip. The thumb picks up about half the deck here. We loosen our grip with our pinky and index fingers and let that packet drop. It still remains between those fingers here. And this part here is where it gets a little bit more difficult, right? This is probably going to be the most difficult part of the whole thing. You are going to now tilt this wrist back just a little bit because in a moment you're going to release with your index finger. And the reason you're tilting back, because once you release, and if you're still here, the cards may fall out of this area. We don't want that to happen, so tilt towards you. At this point, you're going to use your index finger to push this packet up. All right, so we're in this grip here. Using our index finger, we let go, bring it beneath this bottom packet, and start pushing upwards, right? So we push against this packet right here. So we push up, push up, push up like so, until it's just about to clear. You see it hits the thumb. And now as it hits the thumb, you're gonna release with your thumb here. So release just slightly with your thumb. And this packet will now fall on the index finger like so. As you can see, it falls on the index finger. And these 3 fingers are really going to be vital in guiding this packet down, okay? So you want to make sure, again, you're tilted back a little bit so these cards don't fall forward. And now with the index finger here, hopefully you can see that well on camera, with the index finger here, it's going to help it kind of guide down. So bring your index finger down to help guide it down, then you straighten it out, let that packet drop right into your hands, and you close with the thumb. Now, one more time, I want to go through this pretty quickly just to provide you some insights on this move. So you're here holding the deck in your non-dominant hand in an elevated straddle grip like so. You want to try to actually make as much room here as possible without this deck going past the tips of your fingers here. So again, grab about half the packet like so, loosen, okay, loosen. And when I loosen, I actually move these fingers back a little bit. So I loosen, you'll see the fingers go back slightly towards the middle finger and the ring finger. You let that packet drop. Then you come over, tilt back, push up with the index finger like so, just until you make contact with the thumb. As soon as you make contact with the thumb, you're gonna release with the thumb, pull back with these fingers, okay? So you'll see this still tilted a little bit towards you. pull back with these fingers until this packet clears this packet here, and then it'll land on the index finger. Once it lands, pull down with the index finger like so, straighten it out, and then close with the thumb, completing the Charlier cut. The second one-handed cut I'll be sharing with you is actually not the second one that I learned. I feel like it really should have been though. It is the Revolution cut, pretty much one step up after learning the Charlier cut. So it does require a bit more in terms of finger movements, but I think you'll get it down in no time. And personally, I think it looks a bit more appealing, so. As before, let me give you a quick tutorial and then I'll share my insights on how you can optimize learning this move. As I was mentioning before, the Revolution cut is a bit more difficult than the Charlier cut, but the foundations of both cuts are very similar. So once you learn the Charlier cut, the Revolution cut will be a lot easier. And just to show you, it looks something like this. So you can kind of tell the beginning and the ending are very similar. It's just in the center where you can see the real difference. Now, starting off with this cut, again, we're going to get into that elevated straddle grip we talked about with the Charlier cut and let half the packet drop as we did earlier as well. Now from here, you're going to tilt it back towards you like you did last time and take out the index finger. Again, similar to what we did with the Charlier cut. But instead of bringing it below like we did last time, we're going to bring this finger next to the middle finger. Okay, so we were here, right? We're going to bring it next to the middle finger and shift all of these fingers down. Now you want to almost let go with your middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. Just loosen your grip. Obviously don't go all the way here. Just loosen your grip and you're going to twirl this packet. Okay, so revolve this packet, therefore Revolution cut. You're going to revolve this packet around the index finger. Right, so you can see here, let me remove this. You're almost holding this packet right at the center of the card. So here and here on the long sides. And what you're doing is just twirling it or revolving it around. So you're using your thumb to revolve this packet around the index finger. And what the eventual position you want to get in is when you do this revolution, you want to get, let me see if I can actually do this. It's easier to demonstrate with the whole deck. So when you're here, you're twirling this packet, you want the short side, so where the pinky originally was, you want that replaced by the middle finger, okay? And this is probably the most difficult part of this cut, getting from this position here to this position here, okay? And one more time, these three fingers are on the long side, the side opposite to the thumb. The pinky finger is going to be replaced by the middle finger as we revolve this packet. So we're going to revolve the packet like this. Middle finger comes where the pinky finger was, and ring finger goes on the same side as the thumb, okay? So it's going to look something like this. And this is where the revolution happens. We're going to now release with the thumb and revolve this around. So we're here, revolve this around. At this point, apply pressure with your thumb onto the bottom packet here to kind of help this whole revolution process. You can use your pinky on the side here now as a guide so these cards don't fall out from here. All right, so as you push down now here, you'll see this completes its revolution. Then again, you come down, cards are getting misaligned. You come down with your index finger now the same way you did last time. And once you come down, you can close with your thumb. So let me just go through that one more time, show it to you up to speed. It looks something like this. Let me give you a bit of a closer view. So again, elevated straddle grip. Let this packet drop like so. Index finger comes next to the middle finger. You want to get these fingers almost centered here. You can push these packets up a little bit using your pinky, right? So I just pushed up a little bit. Now with these three fingers here, you almost want to release with these three. Kind of twirl or revolve this packet. So you want your middle finger to make contact where your pinky was and your ring finger to go on the same side as your thumb. Once this happens, you can remove the thumb, grip the bottom packet with the thumb, push down on this corner, right? And you can see this will still continue revolving. Use your pinky to guide if needed. And once you make contact with the pinky, this has become straight enough. You can start bringing your index finger down, okay? Your index finger is going to kind of get stuck between this packet and this packet, but this is where you kind of just bring it down, clear the packet. Once that's cleared, you'll see this will almost become flat. Straighten out your index finger and close the same exact way we did with the Charlier cut. So up to speed again, like this. And I can't reiterate this enough, it's not as easy as a Charlier cut, so you can't expect to pick it up immediately. It will require a bit of practice. I'd recommend slowly going through the motions and rewatch this part if you really need it, but focus on the technique when you're actually doing the revolution. Coming from here to here is the most difficult part. Once you get this down, the rest of it will become much easier, okay? And one more tip, I know that whenever I taught this, people always appreciated this tip. When you're doing this, you're doing the revolution, a lot of people get stuck here. So applying that pressure to the corner that's closest to the thumb will really help guide the entire revolution. And then you can pull that finger down, the index finger here, and close. All right, so that is the revolution cut. Now this third one-handed cut is actually the second one I ever learned. And the reasoning for that is because at this point in my card magic career journey, whatever it's called, I shifted my attention more towards cardistry. And just because it looked cool, so that was about it. That was my number one reason. And when I was learning cardistry, the flourish itself required me to know the scissor cut. And it's called a scissor cut because it looks like a scissor that's being opened and closed, and it's a cut. Works perfectly. Let me tell you, I literally had so much difficulty learning this move because as a 12, 13-year-old, however old I was, it really pushes you to stretch your hand as far as it could go, and I was in pain a lot. So quick note, if you do have small hands, you gotta be doing some stretches. But now I'll definitely be sharing with you some tips on this move and how you can pick it up fairly quickly. Let's get into it. The scissor cut, the one cut I learned before it was my time. And let me tell you, it is not easy to do if you have small hands, so get ready. If you do have small hands, we're gonna go through this together because I know the struggle you went through. Now the scissor cut looks something like this. You're pretty much taking the top packet and almost scissoring it. Is that, can I say that? You're pretty much taking the top packet and putting it beneath the bottom packet in a scissor type motion. All right, now this is actually not too similar to the Charlier cut and the revolution cut we just talked about. This kind of focuses on a different technique and does require a bit of stretching of the fingers. So that being said, let's just dive right in. The one similarity between all these cuts is you always start off in an elevated straddle grip. From here, you're gonna take your thumb and come next to your pinky finger, okay? So if you wanna just give the pinky finger a high five, a high finger, what's it called? All right, basically your pinky finger and your thumb are touching. And one thing you do have to notice here, when the finger comes here, the ring finger is inclined to push this packet forward and the middle finger almost goes back away a little bit. And this is really good. This is vital in getting the scissor cut down well. When you get into this position, you'll see, hopefully you can see, let me see how I can show you. You'll see that the cards are not straight like this, they're at an angle like this. So when you're doing the scissor cut, your thumb will be grabbing on to this top half, and having this sticking out like so will make it easier for your thumb to grab. So as I mentioned, you're in that elevated straddle grip, your thumb comes next to that pinky finger, your ring finger pushes the top part of the packet forward, and that is what your thumb is going to grab here. So your thumb is going to take as many cards as it can. Usually takes maybe, I would say, half or less than a half of the packet, maybe between a half and a third of the packet, and that's what you're able to grab here. So the problem at this point is now when you're doing this, your pinky could sometimes get in the way. So what can help is if you loosen your grip with the pinky a little bit, move the pinky towards you, back just a very small amount, you'll see that this packet is easier to clear, okay? So you're in this position, you lifted up a small portion of cards, or I wouldn't say small portion, about half the deck to 1/3 of the deck at least, and you're pulling that out, okay? So this is where I just want you to go to, is here, and just pull it out. Just have this corner clear the pinky finger. So from here to here, that's it. Once you get to this position, sometimes you may see like 1 or 2 cards extra come flying out. That's gonna be fixed with practice, okay? And what could be causing that issue is if you're just straight up, just going directly sideways, some cards could come flying out from here. So I'd actually recommend taking this packet, go slightly up a little bit, and then shift. This way, there won't be any other cards that drag along, causing any issues. So from this position, you're gonna stretch all the way out until this corner clears the bottom packet. So you're gonna keep going, you're pretty much revolving or rotating about the index finger again. So you're really just going out as much as possible. And at one point, this is gonna stop. This is not gonna go anywhere else. So you can actually pull down with your pinky finger and your ring finger and middle finger. So you're stretching out here as far as you can go, but you're also pulling down like this. And now you can see, because of everything that's going on, there's now a little bit of space between this top packet, the original top packet, and the bottom packet. And now the only thing left to do is to take this packet and bring it underneath. So you're just shifting your middle finger, or sorry, not the middle finger, your index finger down a very small amount. So from here, you're coming here and going back with the thumb to its original position next to the pinky, except now you're just gonna go below the pinky. You're gonna close it up like this, take that out, and there is your scissor cut. Definitely not the easiest cut ever if you have small hands. And what I would recommend is actually staying in this position as long as you can, with this top packet cleared of the bottom packet and just holding the deck like so. And I have just done a lot of other activities. I've literally done homework like this. I have watched movies like this. I think that's about it. I don't think I do anything else. But really just holding this position for maybe like a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour every single day, if you have smaller hands, will really help to stretch out your grip and get to this position a lot easier. And then doing this whole cut will be a lot easier, because this honestly is the most difficult part. I know when I originally started learning this, since I couldn't get to this position, right, my cards kind of just stopped here. And then I started inserting these cards in the center like that, which I guess is pretty cool too, but that's not the move that we're actually doing because my fingers couldn't stretch far enough. So really practice maintaining this position. And if you want to just practice getting to it, again, that's going to be very key in learning this move, because closing it once you have the position is it's fairly easy. Clearly having trouble talking today. But there you have the scissor cut. If you haven't already, I would highly encourage you to learn all of these cuts, because trust me, even if you're just playing games at the card table, you're gonna look like a pro handling these cards. But then again, people may not trust you, but that's a whole different topic. But it's also really enjoyable to go ahead and do these cuts, because once you get them down, they just feel like it's like a fidget move, and it's very, very soothing. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe, as it'll really help to grow this channel so that I can keep on making this kind of content for you. Have a great day ahead, and I'll see you really soon.